What is going on, Washington fans? Welcome to A to Z Sports Washington. It's your boy Josh Taylor, and we are fresh off of a very active free agency, which I guess you can say the first wave is done, but there are still plenty of signings to get done. And then we are on to the NFL draft. So obviously, I just want to talk about, the moves that Washington has made, some other things that could pop up, some other guys that they could sign. I am waiting on one thing that could happen. A little whisper I heard today, but I got an article pre-written for it just in case. But we are on watch for that. But in the meantime, like I said, we're going to recap everything that Adam Peters has done in a very different offseason than what we are used to. And then, of course, talk about the NFL draft, talk about the number 7 overall pick, where the Commanders should go. Should they focus on defense even more? Or should they get their wide receiver one of the future? And if so, who the heck is it? With Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, there's a lot of options on the table. So we will see what happens there. But Femto says, LFG, what's good? Josh, what's going on? Let's see. Lord Drago 69 said, let's get it. What's going on, Master Andrew? My guy Teach. The Iowa. Hey, shout out to George Kittle today, giving us a little bit of some light into the Brandon Ayuk situation, which definitely helped out. Read about that one, but it was an interesting conversation to say the least. That sounded like Ayuk was doing what he was supposed to do, with the team doing his rehab and everything. And then once the news dropped, Ayuk said, "All right, well, I'm not going to just hang around here if y'all gonna, split ways or whatever." So shout out to George Kittle for keeping it real. What's going on? Lights out. Appreciate y'all blowing up the chat. Another move coming. It would be a free agency signing. I had 2 different people. I'm waiting for the third one to actually come through to tell me if it's real or not. But I heard from 2 people that somebody was visiting in Ashburn today. But free agent, not a big trade, but still would be a big signing in my opinion. Don't worry, I'm not going to just leave y'all hanging. I would say small. I wouldn't say big. It's not like Trey Hendrickson, but I'd say it's a tier 2 signing. But definitely some moves left to make. They're not done. I mean, they still have plenty of depth. They need corner depth. They need another center. They need more wide receivers. Hint, hint. They need, I would like some more guard depth. I don't like just stretching one guy across 3 positions. What else? I mean, there's still plenty of moves that they could be made. There's still plenty of moves to be made. I wish we were getting Brian Thomas Jr. Trust me. I do wish. And I highly doubt that B-Wags is coming back. And I highly doubt that Debo is coming back. From what I heard, I know Debo's testing his options, but I would be surprised if Debo comes back. But I mean, if his market gets low enough, who knows? But he price wise, the market was higher than what I expected. And I just don't see Washington doing that at this point. They can just address the wide receiver position in the draft. But if another former 49er lowers his price tag, he might be on the Commanders sooner rather than later. 3 biggest needs, definitely wide receiver, center, and corner. We can address all 3 in the draft for sure. Safety and running back can also be addressed. Even if they don't take Jeremiah Love, I'm totally fine. I don't know if y'all saw my mock draft, but I had them getting Noah Whittington in the 7th round. I think they need a late round running back. Maybe another Bill Krosky-Merritt, but I like Jerome Ford a lot more than I thought I would. And he's a former Bama guy before he transferred to Cincinnati. But I didn't really keep up with him a lot with the Browns, but I was surprised. Jerome Ford got some juice. I looked it up. He had 71% of his career production came from after contact. That's insane. I want to say it was 1,050 yards after contact, and he has 1,400 yards total in his career. So that's just an insane number. But the dude's physical, but he's faster than you would think. I love Jerome Ford. I think he would have a roster spot over McNichols, to be honest with you. I know they brought McNichols back, but I think I'd rather have Jerome Ford than than Jeremy McNichols. And Jeremy McNichols had some clutch third downs last season. So I'm not saying anything bad about McNichols, but Snead, I don't see it. I think Snead's going back to Kansas City. From what I heard, he's looking to get a starting spot, and Kansas City makes way too much sense for me. Definitely no trade. Wait until June. I don't see them trading, but I will say I have had a very stern stance on trading back in the draft, and I was like, there's absolutely no way that they will. But the more, the closer we get to the draft, and this is why I love the draft, because things change so much. I think they could trade back, and I'm okay with trading back because I feel good about the value difference between, let's say, 7 and 10. Like, if you're going to take a wide receiver at 7, you're probably going to get an equal one at 10. But just the closer we get to the draft, I really do think Ruben Bain is going to be there at 7. And I think that there's teams that are going to be high enough on him to want to trade a pick for this draft to come up and get him. They would not trade any picks for 2027. I don't think any team's really trading any 2027 picks. Teams are just trying to hoard those picks because it's that good of a draft. But I think that teams would be willing to move up in that 9, 10, 11, 12 range to go up and get Ruben Bain. So let's say the Chiefs, Jeremiah Love's not going to the Chiefs. Jeremiah Love's not getting past 4. I hate to tell you all this, but ever since like the Senior Bowl, Jeremiah Love to the Titans has been the worst kept secret. Straight up. And now his betting odds to like go past or like go in the top 5 is like minus like 400 or something crazy. Like just outrageous numbers. Jeremiah Love's not getting past 4. I am willing to bet my firstborn child that Jeremiah Love will be a Tennessee Titan. I would be shocked if it doesn't happen. So I think a team like Kansas City, they need some more pass rushing help. They need to solidify that defensive line. I think Kansas City would be a team that would want to come up and get Ruben Bain at 7. I think Washington could trade back with them, pick up like a second or whatever the hell they want to trade. And I would love that because I love the second round of this draft. I love the early third round of this draft. I love the safeties in that group. I love the wide receivers in that group. I think you can go back. What are they, 9? I think Kansas City's 9. You go back 2 spots, whatever. And you get that same wide receiver probably. I think Cardell Tate probably goes to the Browns or the Giants. I think. I don't know. Part of me says the Giants go corner, but I don't know. The closer we get to the draft, the more I'm kind of opening up the possibility like, hey, they might actually be able to trade back. And if they do land this free agent that I am expecting to possibly happen, based off of what I heard today, it's not a lock. Obviously, a lot has to happen in the NFL. But if they do get this free agent, like their options with the number 7 overall pick are just wide open. Wide open. What's going on, Radar? Sup, Josh? How we feeling? And as of today, who do you think the pick at 7 is? So I know in my mock draft I had Jordan Tyson, but if you gave me $100,000 and you said, Josh, you have to bet this on somebody, I would say it's Cardell Tate. I would say Cardell Tate is absolutely the pick today. Mainly because they've been aggressive at the position since the season ended. I had many sources tell me, including my source in Indianapolis, said that they were one of the teams pushing strongly for Michael Pittman Jr. Literally an hour before the trade happened, my buddy called me and said, hey, just want to let you know the Commanders and the Giants are the 2 teams pushing so hard for Michael Pittman Jr., but the Steelers are like right there trying to get this done. You might want to write about it. You might want to just, see what you hear, whatever. But Washington has been checking on Michael Pittman Jr. since the combine. They've been talking about it since the combine, and they carry that aggressiveness over into free agency. Swung on Alec Pierce, finished 2nd. They were willing to pay him almost as much as what the Colts gave him, if not more. Some people say it was more. Some people say it was right at it. Whatever. Romeo Doubs, same thing. Finished 2nd place. They were willing to be aggressive, pay as much as New England Patriots, Apparently, Dobbs just saw a better fit in New England. Obviously, with the opportunity, they don't have a true one. Stephon Diggs is gone. I like their supporting cast with Pop Douglas, my guy Kyle Williams, Boutte. They have some other solid guys, but Romeo Dobbs wanted that true wide receiver one opportunity, and he loved what obviously they were just at the Super Bowl. Who the hell wouldn't want to go play for them? But Dobbs ultimately picked the Patriots because of his opportunity. So I think like it just makes too much sense. And people are saying, oh, well, they probably did that because they don't like the prospects at 7. It's not that at all. Think about how Adam Peters has gone through free agency. He has literally set them up to where they can literally do whatever they want at 7. You got your edge rusher. You got a top linebacker with Leo Chenal. Of course, corner, questionable. I think it's probably the most questionable. And obviously wide receiver. Like I said, they tried to get wide receiver. You added Rachaad White just in case Jeremiah Love wasn't going to be there. And he's probably not going to be there. So all these prospects we've been talking about, linebacker, edge, running back, some of these top guys that could be there. Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Jeremiah Love. I think Adam Peters has done a great job just setting up the roster to where it's like, hey, everything is on the table at 7. And that's how it should be. I did not want to come into this draft being like last year, it has to be an edge at 29. Sure enough, it wasn't an edge at 29. It wasn't an edge in the second. It wasn't an edge every other pick. So that's what I wanted them to not do. And I really think that AP has set it up, except for the wide receiver position where it's like, hey, we gotta get that right. This is probably Terry's last season because his cap hit's like 30-something million next year, and they're definitely not doing that. And they might, he's a prime trade candidate for me this offseason coming up next year, or even at the trade deadline. But I don't know. It's got to be Cardell Tate. I know it was a long answer, but you don't be this aggressive at the position and do all this homework, throw this much money out, make actual offers for Michael Pittman. I think the only thing that didn't happen with Michael Pittman, and obviously wasn't the trade with the picks because it's like a day 3 pick swap. I think it was just the contract. And I think the Steelers had the better offer with the contract with his agent, because the way it works, team says, hey, we want to trade. Okay, we'll get it right with the agent. If they approve of the contract, then we can do the trade. And I just don't think the Commanders made the best offer with the new contract that the Steelers gave Pittman. So had nothing to do with picks, but they tried. I would have loved Michael Pittman. I think he's a beast with his size and everything. I think he would have fit great. All right, let me get back to these super chats. Appreciate y'all for giving me a second to rant, but there's a lot that's been going through my mind over the last 2 weeks of free agency. A lot of stuff that I heard and everything. That I just wanted to get out to you because I'm very transparent. And if I say something, I mean it with my whole chest. Cough, cough, Juwan Jennings. Not going to say you're wrong because you're not. I wouldn't draft limit at 7 and hopefully trade down. If not, I don't know what to do because we need to draft an offensive player at 7, but limit at 7 is too high. I don't think. Like for me, I tell people all the time, what's the difference between getting a guy at 7 and 10? It's just where you pick him. But if he's the right guy, who cares? If you pick Tyson, he has a shit ton of injuries the next 2 seasons. You're like, damn, we should have picked Mekhi Lemon because he's balling out wherever he is right now. Then you're like, well, who would have cared if we would have took him at 7? We should have just took the guy we liked. You think Debo's coming back or no? So I'm going to say no on that one. Can say the position of the player visiting wide receiver. We need more safety depth for sure. That's why I think Caleb Downs is still on the table. Don't sleep on Caleb Downs. I think he's still on the table. I like Will Harris. I like Nick Cross. That's it. The safety depth is bad. All right, let me get to the super chat. Appreciate it, Light. AP and DQ did their job. Now it's Blau and Jones's turn. I will say, shout out to Durante Jones because he definitely he got a lot of help this offseason. And he needed it because you're investing this giant new defensive scheme. You've never done it before. And it would have been one thing to just roll into the season. Like, well, sorry, man. You have all of our old players. Like, good luck. But he got a lot of players that fit his scheme. I think Nick Cross is borderline scheme guy. I think Nick Cross is just a fantastic player. 24 years old. Hell yeah, sign me up for Nick Cross. But Leo Chenal has all pro potential in this defense. And I know that's crazy to say, but Leo Chenal is literally built for this defense. Like, he's going to be a damn good pass rusher in that 3-4, like coming off the edge. He's going to, you see him doing like stunts and crashing up the middle and just causing havoc. He's a sure tackler. Like, he doesn't miss tackles. He's a high-end elite run stopper. I'm not going to say he's great in coverage. I think he's really good in coverage. I'm not going to say he's like fantastic, like he's like a Fred Warner or anything. But man, Leo Chenal is the best linebacker we've had in a while. And that's no shade to Bobby Wagner, who's a Hall of Famer, but just at this point of their career, we're getting Leo Chenal going into his prime. But I mean, I think Amik Robertson fits the slot of what Durante Jones wants to do too. I think Odafe Oweh is going to be a stud. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. But I love what they did on defense. And I love what they did on offense too. I think Blau, he got a home run with Chig Okonkwo. Okonkwo is so excited to be here. David Blau was probably gleaming. But then Rachaad White. And this is where fans are going to hate me. I think Rachaad White's running back 1. He's the most complete running back on this team, and it's not even close. I love Bill. Bill is faster. He has better long speed. He has better home run ability than Rachaad White, no doubt. But Bill Krosky-Merritt is not even close to Rachaad White when it comes to pass protection and in the receiving game. Not even close. Rachaad White also had 0 fumbles and 0 drops on like 40-something targets last year, but 0 fumbles, and Bill had 4 fumbles, and they're pretty critical fumbles. So I think Rachaad White's the running back 1 right now. And you got him on a $2 million deal, which I think he's going to hit that upside incentives with $4 million, whatever it ends up being. But dude, Rachaad White is so underrated. So underrated. People are like, oh, he's a receiving back. He's a third down back. Absolutely not. Rachaad White, man. I'm willing to bet money that Rachaad White leads in touches and leads in total yardage. Maybe not rushing yards. Who knows? Because like I said, Bill can take 180 yards to the crib. I don't see Rachaad White doing that much. He'll get you 50, you know. But I love Rachaad White, man. Absolute stud. Let me bounce up here real quick because I skipped a bunch. Sorry about that. But I promise you I'm going to get it to you. Eric said, what's up, Josh? Been killing him with the articles. Appreciate it. For those that don't know, check out A2Zsports.com. You see it right there by my name. Check out all the latest articles. Got a lot of stuff cooking up. Who is trading up, though? So I saw about, them possibly trading back. I think the Chiefs would be aggressive. I think the Chiefs, because, they got some extra picks and stuff like that. I think they'd be aggressive. Shout out to the Richmond Flying Squirrels for the cup. Doug Alicia says 71 is penciled in as center. Ah, man. Maybe, but I do think you can get a really good center. I had them get in Jaeger Burton. What pick was it? It was in the 5th. Whatever the 5th was, 140 something. I can't remember anymore. But hope you're doing well. Josh, it's been a minute. Appreciate it, Doug. You too, man. Good to be back. I'm gonna be going live pretty much every week. We'll see. But I don't know. 71. I just don't know if there's a center worth taking. Like maybe Hitch from Kansas State. But I like the corners there. I like the safeties at 71. I would like the wide receiver at 71 if they pass at 7. But we'll see. Stewart said, what are your thoughts about center? Kind of worried about whatever our plan is there. For sure. I'm very worried. I think Nick Allegretti would do a good job at center, but I don't like the idea where it's just like, we're going to find out. Because I know he played the last game of the season against the Eagles at center. I don't know if he played. I know Biotish got hurt against the Cowboys. But I'm just trying to think of like how many snaps Allegretti played at center there. I don't think it was that long. So like we're really about to base Jaden Daniels going under center for the first time in his career, like, and running this play action offense. It's like one game with Allegretti. I don't know about that. But they should definitely add some other options, at least to compete. Like I hope they draft a guy that could also go over to like left guard. That's what the Eagles did. They drafted like 3 centers straight. and they just moved them all to guard. By the way, this is the cherry float Coke, 0 sugar, of course, because we're healthy over here. This shit is fantastic. I'm going to Publix tomorrow. I'm getting 3 more. Buy 2, get 1 free. You might as well. Light said, I love how Commanders fans on Twitter switched up so fast on AP. They didn't trust the process. We got to respect AP. Look, I always said, you get 3 off seasons with me before I draw the line on how good of a GM you are. And by God, I thought he was out, but he pulled me in after the 3rd one. Time was ticking. He was at the finish line. He brought me back in. So AP did a hell of a job this offseason. Jeremiah Love is minus 130 to go to Tennessee on DraftKings. It's about to go up so much. Can you see us grabbing LSU corner? I could. It honestly would not surprise me. My guy Abdullah, what's going on, man? Said White is definitely better than Bill. I agree. I hate to say it, but I think he is. Best linebacker since Keenan Robinson. That's a name drop for you. That is a name drop. I don't know. I think Bill way better than White. I think he's got the speed for sure. But when it comes to a complete back, not even close. Not even close. Which, it's like I said, no shot at Bill because dude had a breakout rookie season, but still, White's gonna be hard to take off the field. They're gonna see him stuff a linebacker on 3rd down and be like, man, we gotta leave him out there. This guy's killing it. Trust said, get Delane. He allowed only 14 catches all season and signed Juwan Jennings or a receiver in the 3rd. I think if they do land Juwan Jennings, which we'll see, man, if you get Juwan Jennings, do you still get Brandon Ayuk? Or is like the Juwan Jennings signing just like a middle finger to the 49ers? Like, hey, you want to play this game? We can pivot too. You want to hold out? You want to play this game of like, oh, we're going to hold Brandon Ayuk hostage? That's fine. We're just going to sign Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings is not going back to the 49ers. That's been known for like months. Not going to happen. But if you do sign Juwan Jennings, I still think you could take a wide receiver at 7. And would you want Juwan Jennings and Ayuk on the same team? I don't know. I mean, Ayuk's literally going to be like a 1-year, $8 million deal. Like, it's going to be nothing. Like, he's not – people think he's going to get like a 2-3-year, $40 million deal. Absolutely not. He's going to get a little 1-year prove deal. A trio of Amos and Delane could also be really good. I do agree with saying, hey, this team needs a lockdown corner. I love Mikey, but I don't want to go into next season with this outside corner liability. I just don't want to. I just don't know what to expect from Mikey. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me pull up Tankathon because I see some more draft questions. And I can't remember the full order. Let me see. But honestly, if we got Mansour Delane, I'd be like, hell yeah. I'd be like, cool. Absolutely. Let's do it. Because they need a lockdown corner. And I think Delane is very good. I think he's a very good corner. Ooh, he's a good one. If Bain or Bailey are there at 7, do you think the Ravens would want to trade up and give up 14, their 2nd and 4th? And would you do that? I think Lemon would be the target there. So let's say the Ravens send us 14 and don't back out this time. Man, 14, a 2nd and a 4th. Their 2nd is pick 45. Damn, that's tempting because I would love to have pick 45. It's tricky. Because I could see Mekhi Lemon. I could see Mekhi Lemon going the pick before to the Rams. Like, that makes a lot of sense. They're still looking for wide receiver. They tried to trade for A.J. Brown. They stopped. I think Mekhi Lemon is a guy that they really like. So I would just hate to trade back to 14 and Carnell Tate. Miami needs a wide receiver now. They'll probably take Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon. Dallas is not going to take a wide receiver. New Orleans could take a wide receiver. New Orleans really needs a wide receiver. I don't think you're getting a top wide receiver if you do that trade. As much as I would love to land pick 45 and a fourth, I don't know. Like you're starting to get to like who would go over there? You're probably looking at next wide receiver. I don't know. Maybe Tyson falls that far, but I don't see Miami passing up on them after they traded Waddle. I don't see it. There's just too many teams that need wide receivers. Like I said, the Saints, the Dolphins, the Rams are going to be aggressive in getting another wide receiver. They want a top wide receiver. The Jets have been reportedly eyeing wide receivers in the draft. If they don't go Ty Simpson at 16, they could go wide receiver if one falls. Carolina needs one. So there's just a lot of teams that need a premier wide receiver. That's a good point. Going under center worked for Caleb last season. I think it will work for Jaden. Yeah, Caleb and Drake May were great under center. I think Jaden's going to thrive under center, honestly. I think his legs, like what we saw with Caleb and how he was able to open up the pass game with his legs, Jaden's going to do the same thing. Can't go wrong with wide receiver, corner, or downs. That's where I'm at. I did see someone ask if there was a pick at 7. Where is it? I lost it somewhere in here. But shout out to whoever asked it. They said, is there a pick at 7 that you wouldn't like? Man, I wouldn't say there's one that I like hate. I mean, unless they just like absolutely reach for somebody. If they go offensive line again, I'm like, all right, you know what, AP, we got to talk. Like if he goes Spitzer Fano and like moves him out to left guard after signing Chris Paul, I'd be like, all right, what the fuck? Or Vega, I own from Penn State, love him to death. But if we draft another guard after bringing back Chris Paul and like we have Sam Cosmi, I'd be like, well, what the hell? But at 7, like as much as I said, like Sonny Styles would be controversial, if you have Frankie Louvu, you have Leo Chenal, you just signed him. You have Jordan McGee. Of course, like Jordan McGee still needs to show me some stuff. I just think this team is in a better position to be like, hey, we need to either get Ruben Bain, we need to get Caleb Downs, we need to get Delane, we need to get one of these top wide receivers. I know Sonny Styles is great, but I just think this team needs a lot more. If it's going to be defense, I would rather have Mansour Delane than Sonny Styles. I would rather have David Bailey than Sonny Styles. Because one thing people are not talking about, and this is something I noticed immediately after free agency, I looked at the depth chart. I want to ask y'all one question. Tell me, and first person to get it in the chat wins. Tell me the defensive ends on the roster right now. I think there's 6, 7, 8 maybe. 7, 8 of them. I'll just say 7. Guess how many are under contract after this season? Think about it and let me know. And in the meantime, I'm going to get to Light Super Chats. Appreciate it, Light. Fans were killing AP for not signing crazy deals. And they did try, but still. And they spent the most money this offseason with their own extensions, their own re-signings, but also signing other new players. The Commanders were first. The Titans were second. It was like $316 million. So AP definitely opened the checkbook, but I love the moves they made. I'm actually glad they didn't get Tyler Linderbaum. Alec Pierce would have been awesome. But I think they did the right thing. Can we trust Amos to stay healthy plus Mikey outside? The thing with Amos, like it was a broken bone. You know, it's kind of like Jaden falling on his arm, kind of like a freak thing. It's not like, you're injury prone. It's like, dang, he just broke his leg, you know? The Mikey one is different. The Mikey one's different. I don't have enough to say that I trust Mikey for a whole season at outside corner. I don't. Would Bain work in our 3-4 defense? For sure. I think early downs, he's playing outside. Third downs, move him inside. and he's going to thrive. Chiefs wide receiver core isn't good enough to not take a receiver. They couldn't go wrong there. Yeah, I mean, they're another team that needs a wide receiver. There's a lot of teams like begging Washington to not take a wide receiver. And it's either safety, wide receiver, or corner at 7. Best player available in the 3rd. I'm with it. I really don't want Bain. I think Bain's great. Let's see. People answering my question. Who are the defensive ends under contract after next season? Owe. There's 2. Dakota had it right. There's 2. Master Andrew had the first answer. Baptiste and Owe. That's crazy. I feel like I'm lagging a little bit, but that's crazy. Listen to this. Pull up the depth chart. Defensive end, Odafe Owe, under contract. Dietrich Wise, 1 year. Javonte Jean-Baptiste, under contract. Might not even make the team. Drake Jackson, 1 year. DJ Johnson, 1 year. Caleb Von Chason, 1 year. Dorrance Armstrong, 1 year. Charles Omenihu, 1 year. Andre Carter II, I forgot we even had him. Stud at Army, 1 year. TJ Magu Ranyanga, this is his last year. So you got 2 edge rushers under contract after this season. That's crazy. And you currently have 5. Oh, I was wrong. There's 10 under contract. There's 10 going into the season right now. And only 2 are under contract. And one of them's on bubble watch. Like, he might not even make the roster. So that's crazy. So I think that they're still in the market for taking an edge rusher because you kind of have to somewhere in this draft, or you're just going to be re-signing Chason next offseason, re-signing Dorrance Armstrong next season, re-signing Charles Omenihu next season, and then doing it all again. I don't really want them to do that. But, I don't know. I think David Bailey's a lock to go top 5. I think Bain is slowly slipping. But if they take Bain, I'll be hype. Because I think Bain is good. Of course, there's the concerns with his arm length. But if you think about Odafe away on one side, Bain inside more, then you got Chason rushing outside of Bain. Then you got your interior guys. You got Tim Settle as your nose tackle. You could have Jerzon Newton getting the pass rush. You could have Kinlaw, Teron Payne. They're going to be rotating so much. They're not going to just stay in a 3-4. They're going to do 4-3. They're going to do the 3-4. You're going to have Leo Chenal, rushing, dropping. You're going to have so many different looks. So it's not there's not really a spot for him. Bain he might not fit. I think Bain would actually fit really well. I think he would fit better than David Bailey. Because you could put him inside or outside, which I think teams are going to do. And you saw Miami do that. Early downs, he was outside. Third downs, he was usually 3 tech, sometimes 4-eye, right inside the tackle. But I think he would fit. I would not be bummed if they got Bain. I think Bain would fit. So, but they definitely need some guys of the future. What does Dorrance Armstrong even look like after his knee injury? That's another big question. Let's see here. Would you take Jeremiah Love over a receiver if he was available at 7? Oh, man. I think I would have to because I think he'd be the best. I think he's not will be. I think he is the best offensive player in the draft. But I'm very, very sure he's not going to be there at 7. I think our best option would be that someone wants to trade up for a receiver at 7. But if we don't sign Jawan Jennings, I think we possibly could be, man, same boat. You got Terry, you got Brandon Ayuk, Luke McCaffrey, and Jalen Lane. I don't feel good about that. And you draft someone at 71, I still don't feel good about that. I want one of those top guys at 7. You always say I'm a big fan of Delane. You can't have a top defense without having a top corner in the league. I agree. I would love if Thieneman is available in the 3rd round, especially with his speed. He's probably going to be a high second, mid-second, even though he's a safety. Dylan Thieneman is so good. Have you heard anything on Elijah Surratt? Haven't heard anything about his visits or anything yet. I don't know when Indiana's pro day is either. I have to look it up. I need to get on these pro days, by the way. I'm struggling this year with free agency. But I do like Elijah Surratt. He's not like an elite separator, so don't expect like some route running artist. But he just reminds me of like an elite basketball player playing football. Like he's just so athletically gifted, great body control, great athletic ability, great contact balance. Like he just there's not many passes that he can't beat you to. Um, Kind of like Terry when Terry goes up and gets the ball. Like I don't know, kind of reminds me of Terry a little bit. But Leon said we need a bigger receiver, need somebody around 6'3", 6 instead of these small receivers. Yeah, I agree. I would like another big outside guy, which is why I would have loved Michael Pittman. Tyler said Amos needs to work on tackling. That's how he hurt his shoulder. True. Saw he's working out. Leon said 6'3", 6'5". I got you. But yeah, I saw he posted on Instagram that he's working out right now, so I'm guessing he's good to go. Lights out. This is honestly pretty good. Even though I do want some offense in there, but Caleb Downs at 7, denied Dennis Sutton at 71 would be great. Great. Later on in the draft, we took a wide receiver. Surratt, Amari Cooper, and Jeremy Bernard are on the board. Who am I choosing? Amari Cooper Jr. Amari Cooper Jr. would be an elite slot receiver in Washington. Elite slot receiver. I think Amari Cooper Jr. goes late first. If I had to pick one guy that sneaks into the first round, it's going to be Amari Cooper. Teams really like him. Like, really like Amari Cooper Jr. Bane is the pick no matter what, said Yosoy. DQ card. Yeah, he's going to be pulling a cliff. Dakota said, I think it's possible we trade Payne before the deadline. The thing that hurts is that this is one of the best defensive tackle drafts in a while. So it's like, who's going to trade for him? If they were to trade Deron Payne, it's going to be after the draft. I don't know. It really does sound like they're going to stick with Deron Payne. But after getting Tim Settle, like I know he's just a straight up zero tech nose tackle in the 3-4 defense. I think there's a way you can move Deron Payne because like what is Johnny Newton, Javon Kinlaw going to be doing on those downs? Like I think they're going to love like Tim Settle is the only one that I feel good playing zero tech, like nose tackle. He's the only one that I think could do it at his size. I don't think Newton can do it. Kinlaw can't do it. Payne can't do it. Like he got a lot of bodies. I think Charles Omenihu, he's going to play inside more than people realize. It's like you could move Deron Payne. You honestly could. And it's not even like a money thing. It's like, hey, we would like more draft picks for 2027. That's another thing too. Teams don't want to trade 2027 picks. Bane with the other guys would make one hell of a rotation. Absolutely. Antoine said, have to go wide receiver. That's pretty much where I'm at. Either him or Caleb Downs. Do you think Brandon Ayuk will be a Commander by minicamp? I think Ayuk will be released before the draft. I think Ayuk gets released like right before the draft. They're gonna wait until like the last second of the draft. But I would be shocked if we are going into May and Brandon Ayuk is still a 49. Like that's ridiculous. AP did a great job of keeping Chris Paul more depth for the O-line. Yeah, I'm waiting for those numbers to come out because we heard the 2 weeks going up to it. Everybody, Jeremy Fowler was like, hey, Chris Paul's a sleeper. John Kime was like, he's going to test his market. He's got a strong market. The teams I heard that were in on him were the Browns and the Giants. And they both went elsewhere. I think there were some other teams, maybe the Steelers. I can't remember who it was. Or Texans. I can't remember. But they played the waiting game for Chris Paul, and eventually it worked out. And I just want to see what that number looks like because we heard some crazy numbers. For me, I was like, I'm cool giving him 10, 11 mil a year. We were hearing like 15, 16, 17. I was like, ain't no way. Shane said, I love what Peters is doing, and free agency really gives us options in the draft for sure. Number 7 overall pick is wide open. AP had injuries. Some other signing. AP had injuries in mind with all the depth for sure. It's something we didn't have. Like we saw the team fall apart with a few injuries last season, and then it just went downhill and more people got hurt. I wonder if Burks works out. What is he, 6'4"? Which Burks? Oh, Traylon Burks. I thought you were talking about Deion Burks. I was going to say, no, Deion Burks is like 5'8", 5'9". Traylon Burks, I think he's like 6'2". I want to say he's 6'2". Let's see. Yep, he's 6'2". 6'2". He looks big, though. He plays like he's 6'4". Doesn't Downs have some degenerative energy? No, that was all BS. Absolutely not. We heard from many sources on our end that he was fine. NFL teams straight up came out and said that, not came out publicly and said, but they came out and told us that that was all fake. We should trade Payne. I can't believe we're going to pay him all that money. He's so mid, but some people in this fan base thinks he's a god. I love Dron Payne. That's my Alabama guy. You see my helmet. Like I love Dron Payne. I've got pictures with him from his freshman year at Alabama outside of Bryant-Denny Stadium after game. Like I love Dron Payne, but there's no way he should be getting that much money. And I would trade him for another pick. I would love to do that. We did keep the nose tackle we had last season. Yes, Shy Tuttle, but you got to get younger. You got to get better than Shy Tuttle. No offense to Shy. I think Tim Settle's going to be great. I think he's gotten so much better than people realize with this time with the Texans. I thought he got better on the Bills, and I thought he even got better than that. I thought he got way better on the Texans. But that defense was crazy anyways. Thoughts on them trading down and taking Lemon. So when I do look at like possible trade guys, because like I said, I'm kind of leaning more towards like it's not impossible that they don't trade down anymore. Like there is a realm out there where they could do it. If Ruben Bain drops to 7, what if I think I'm lagging, my bad. I think the Bengals just don't trade with anybody. What if the Bengals said, we want Ruben Bain? What if the Chiefs is another one I talked about? What if they want Ruben Bain? Like the Vikings? I don't think I'd go to 18. But if the Bengals want to come up from 10 and land at 7, we fall to 10, I think you could possibly get Delane at 10 still. They got 10, 41, 72, 110. If they're willing to give up 41 or like 72 and 110, I would do it. But yeah, the Bengals are one I would look at. Bengals and Chiefs. I'm just trying to think like teams aren't going to just trade up for nobodies. You know, it's got to be somebody good. It's got to be a good defensive player. Like a team's not going to trade up for Carnell Tate. I hate to say it. Team's not going to trade up for Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson. The team's going to trade up for Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain, David Bailey. Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles. But I don't see Sonny Styles. I don't see Bailey, and I don't see Jeremiah Love getting out of the top 5. Top 5. I could see Arvell Reese maybe slipping. That'd be interesting. I think David Bailey goes to Jets at 2, though. And I think the Cardinals could go Arvell Reese. I think the Titans are locked to get Love. I think the Giants could either go wide receiver or they could go Delane or they could go Sonny Styles. Browns either going to do wide receiver or tackle because they just need offensive line help so bad. But I think Washington, I think Downs is going to be on the board. I think Bain is going to be on the board. I think Delane's going to be on the board. I think there's a chance Carnell Tate could be there, but it would not shock me if the Giants or the Browns went Carnell Tate. It would not shock me at all. But then you have to have the conversation, is Jordan Tyson worth taking at 7? And I think he is. Is Mekhi Lemon worth taking at 7? I think he is too. I think they're both really good. Ayuk should be released before April 1st since he's due a lot of money then. Let me see. NFL contract trigger calendar. Let me see. Ayuk. don't see anything yet. God, they have a lot. Fred Warner, Purdy, Mac Jones, Lenore, Luke Farrell. Dang, they got a ton. Kittle. I don't see any triggers for him on April 1st. I see September 1st. He has an option due $24 million, but I don't know if that's like the guarantees that they took away. But that's all the way in September, so I don't see anything April 1st for Brandon Ayuk, though, so they could literally drag us out as long as they want. Let me actually go down to him. Sometimes if you click on his another $31 million in injury guarantees vested on April. Oh, that's at 2025. I don't see anything for 2026 where he has like this contract trigger. So, and if it does, it was probably the guarantees that they voided. So I don't think he has anything coming out, to be honest with you. I don't think he has anything coming out. If Burks would stay healthy, I think he would be huge for us. I could see it. I don't know. They still need more help than just Burks. Like, if you get Brandon Ayuk, if you get Jawan Jennings, you still need a draft wide receiver. Like, I would not hesitate on getting Cornell Tate. I don't care if they sign both of those guys. You still get Cornell Tate. Well, if it's all fake about Downs' degenerative injury, then yeah, I would love to take him in the draft. I think we're good in the wide receiver room. I still think you would get one at like 71. Maybe Elijah Surratt. Who else would be there at 71? I like Cyrus Allen. I don't see him going 71, though. I just don't see him going that far. Maybe Chris Bell would fall because of his injury. Jeremy Bernard, Malachi Fields. He's a big dude, 6'4", 218. Antonio Williams is another guy I've heard a lot of. Jacoby Lane. I actually was not a fan of Jacoby Lane. Deion Burks. There's some wide receivers that could be there at 71, but you got to draft one. You got to have somebody part of the future. What if we move Terry in the slot like Fitzgerald when he got older? I don't know. I don't think Terry would want to do that. But I would honestly keep him on the outside. What picks do the 49ers have? I don't know, but they're trying to get a freaking 7th for Ayuk, which is just hilarious. The 49ers only have 6 picks, too. They got 27 in the first, 58 in the second, 127 in the fourth, 133rd comp pick in the fourth, 138 comp pick in the fourth, 139 comp pick in the fourth. That's crazy. They don't have a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick. They got a 1st, a 2nd, and 4 4s. That's insane. I didn't know they even had, like, that was their pick. They pick 127, 133, 138, 139. And then they're done. That's insane. That's like nothing. Are we still looking for a number 2 wide receiver? Absolutely. And I think Cornell Tate's the guy. Downs and Cross would make a solid safety. Checking free agency news. Safety pairing, hoping for Styles or Bailey. I still think Caleb Downs is on the board because I don't like their safety room. I think their safety room is bad right now. I think their safety room is not good. I do like Cross, but I don't trust anyone outside of Cross. I barely trust Harris, but if your name's not Cross or Harris, you should not be on the field. I hate to say it, but you should not be on the field. And I think Cross is going to be fantastic. And you got him on a 2-year deal of $14 million, which is insane. Absolutely love that. We're still signing other NFL teams leftovers. No, I think we're still making some good moves. I see why the 49ers want a 7th now. I mean, you might as well ask for a 6th. Our 7th for Ayuk and their 1st and 2nd round picks. That'd be great. But the thing is, people are not going to trade for Brandon Ayuk because of his contract. And then people are like, oh, you're going to rework it. I don't care. Not how it should work. Just release him. And I think he gets released before the draft, to be honest with you. I think he does. But I don't think this team's done yet. And something else I wanted to talk about was depth at corner. Cam Taylor-Britt was signed today. I did want him as a younger depth option But Martin Emerson is a dude. It's a name that's floated around a lot. That's somebody I would really like to bring in. I don't know if he's just looking for a starting role because I mean he was good on the Browns. I did like Emerson. Where is he? Did they even have him on here? Here he is. He's only 25. He's about to be 26. He didn't play in 25. Did he have an injury? Let me see. Or did he just not play? Oh yeah, he had a that Achilles tear in training camp in July. That's right. But still, like I would love to add Martin Emerson as depth at corner. Would love to see that happen. I thought he was a solid corner in 2023 and 2024. And that's one main reason that they were like okay with moving Greg Newsome when they did. But they need depth at corner so bad. Darion Kendrick, Khair Alam, Jesus. Martin Emerson, like I said, Adoree Jackson, no thank you. Josh Jobe stayed. Jeff Okudah is a guy I would take a swing on. He was with the Vikings, might as well do it. Another depth guy. He's only 27 years old. So they need some corner depth, though. Back. His quarterback room is not good. Not good at all. Let's see. If Ayuk does get traded, do you think the 49ers would be willing to eat most of the contract money? Absolutely not. They're not willing to eat a single dollar. Not at all. I would really like to see us get Brian Thomas Jr. if possible. The thing is, that Jalen Waddle trade really did not help that at all. They traded was Waddle in a fourth for a first, second, and a fourth. Brian Thomas Jr. might be a first. I don't want to say 2 firsts because that's crazy. Brian Thomas Jr. I know Jalen Waddle's better, but you have to think about a rookie contract. You have to think about the value, what he did in his rookie season. Man, like it would probably take a first and a second, and like in another wide receiver. Like it would probably take a first, a second, and I don't know. Like I don't want to say like Luke McCaffrey because he has no trade value, but it would be insane. Like a trade to get Brian Thomas Jr., but I would love to hear what offers they've got for him. Gucci Sushi said, I think it'll be Tate or Delane, especially with how heavily involved Peters was on multiple expensive free agents at both positions for sure. I think corner and wide receiver, like the 2 premier positions outside of quarterback, obviously. And those are the 2 positions that have the biggest question marks for me outside of like center, but they have a guy that could play there. But you don't have a premier lockdown corner. We'll see what Trey Amos looks like. I think he's going to be really solid. Am I going to call him a premier outside corner yet? No. But I think he's going to be really good. Outside of Terry, you ain't got nothing. And this is probably Terry's last season. So you need a true wide receiver 1, and you need a lockdown corner. Absolutely. So if it's Delane, if it's Tate, I'm all for it. I think those would probably be my 2 top picks, though. And I would honorable mention would be Caleb Downs because I don't like the safety room either. Great free agency this year. The thought of me seeing Jartavius play for us next year makes me want to puke. He is Jartavius for the time being, but man, that's bad. I have a big fear they're going to want to stick with the current wide receiver room. I don't think so, man. I think that they were so aggressive in getting their hats in the ring for some big name guys. I don't see them just sitting back and say, well, we tried. I don't think they're done yet. I think they want to be aggressive, and the draft is like your only real next avenue to be aggressive and sign Jamon Jennings. Shane said it was weird to see them get rid of our starting center right after saying they were going on to center more next year. Yeah, I still don't fully agree with it, but I think it had to do with the new scheme. I think it had to do with maybe they thought that they were pretty locked in on getting Tyler Linderbaum. Maybe, they just wanted to do right by Tyler Biadasz and say, hey, go sign with a new team. Bam, he signed with a new team pretty quick. Or they just feel good about Nick Allegretti. We'll see. But Yeah, I was honestly pretty concerned with the move. I was like, oh, okay, I did not see that coming at all, to be honest with you. Are there any other release candidates for wide receiver? I'm trying to think about that Broncos room. They're obviously not going to just release Mims and release Troy Franklin or Pat Bryant. Who do the Broncos have like deep? Let me see real quick. Let me see. And I'm not trading from one of those guys either. Lil Jordan Humphrey. Okay. Yeah, they have like no depth. They got Corlin Sutton, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Jalen Waddle, Marvin Mims Jr., Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, Michael Bandy. So that's a no. Gosh, I don't think there's many teams that just have like an abundance of wide receiver. It's going to depend on what happens after the draft. Like if somebody drafts more wide receivers than expected, then you might see those cut candidates. Like we're like, oh shoot, I didn't think he'd get cut. But I haven't really taken a look at that yet. How long of a deal do you think Jennings gets? They have him projected at a 3-year, $50 million deal. I think it's going to be lower than that. He's about to be 29 this season. I think he gets a 2-year deal. If I had to guess, I'm going to say 2-year. I'd be willing to do, kind of like an Amik Robertson deal. Like his is only $5 million this year and $10 million cap hit next year. I would do 2-year, $30 million. First cap hit's going to be like 8, and then the rest of it's going to go next year. But then you have an out where you can eat the contract if you have to. But I like Jauan Jennings. Like I really think that'd be a home run signing. I'd be hyped for Jauan Jennings. Tough as nails. This dude plays through like every injury he has. He played through like 5 broken ribs. I would love Jauan Jennings. So we'll see if they actually do that. But yeah, I mean, 2-year. Dang, 2-year 35. That might be too much for me. Like people keep saying they have like $60-something million in cap. They don't have $60-something million in cap. And then you have to figure out, get your practice squad, you have to pay, your draft class, you have to pay. There's still some depth guys they really need to get signed in free agency. So I just think they're definitely in the running for Jauan Jennings, but I think Jauan Jennings is kind of figuring out his market. It was like Chargers, Broncos, maybe Washington, depending on how things go. Obviously, the Broncos made their trade. I think the Chargers are still on the table for Jauan Jennings. I think the Giants are on the table for Jauan Jennings. And I think Washington is on the table for Jauan Jennings because he has an opportunity to be the second guy. But it's got to be for the right price. I don't see Adam Peters just saying, what the hell, man? We're going to just give you 16, 17 mil a year. Because that's what you're projected. I just don't see that happening. I could see a 3-year deal too, though, where it's like first year is like 11, next year is like 15, and then you have an out after that second year. I could see that happening too. But I would not mind Jauan Jennings. I hope that happens. I hope they do sign Jauan Jennings. I would be hyped. I'd be excited. That like would blow the door wide open for this number 7 overall pick. Like they could literally do anything at that point. So. But all right, y'all, I appreciate y'all coming through the chat, talking about some free agency. Next week, I'm trying to think what my schedule looks like. Monday nights, I'll get back to Monday Night Lives. I'll do Monday night. We're going to do a mock draft and talk just all about the draft on next Monday. Kind of moving on from free agency unless they do something absolutely bonkers. And if they sign Jauan Jennings, like, of course, I'm going to do a video on it and stuff like that. But next week, Monday nights, 7 p.m., mock draft, talk about the draft, talk about the team remaining needs and all that good stuff. So appreciate y'all for coming through in the chat, and make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well. Y'all be good, be safe, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see y'all back here on Monday. And make sure to check out the articles too. A2Zsports.com. Go to Washington Commanders page. All my articles are on there. Talk about everything that you want to hear about. Got some good stuff rolling out tomorrow. Some top 30 visits are being announced. Some pro day visits are being announced, all kinds of good stuff. So appreciate it. See y'all next week. Peace.